Hey all, Double 18 Set Shadow here. So I just got done watching the third episode of Cardfight Vanguard DivineZ for the deluxe, and I got the itch to throw up a market watch on how it affected the market today, because it featured two of the different ride lines that we're going to be getting for Divine Set 7. So that's going to be a lot of cards to cover in terms of two particular archetypes, and they are Griphogila and Basaga. But before we start going into some singles for those, today is also the release date of the Stride deck sets for Harry and Night Rose, so let's go over those first. And so, when it comes to Harry, we're looking at base prices lower than the current market prices right now. It's just over $60 for the regular deck set, just over $185 to pick up the premium deck set. And the thing on the crest generator is that while this has a market price of $38, it only has a listing on the market for $80 right now. So, from my understanding, this is really going to be driven by the viability of Crest Harry in Premium, which Premium only had one restriction placed on it from Bushiroad's strategy announcement yesterday, and that was affecting Mega Colony, limiting Rectora to 2. And then the token rare for the Harry Crest is currently on the market for $25. This token rare, I'm pretty sure, would only be available as part of the premium Stride deck set. Otherwise, the regular token crest is always available as part of the Stride deck set. Night Rose has some different statistics on it, and one thing I will note is that TCG Player seems to have gotten the images flipped around for the regular and premium deck sets. So the regular deck set, which currently has the premium image, is $62 right now, and the premium Stride deck set, that's using the regular one's image, is currently around $220 to pick up. Compared to Betty, the crest generator for this one, Parting Shade, is over $51 with 2 listings, but has a market price of $50. So this one has been more anticipated to pick up from the original pre-orders. And then otherwise, the token for this one, the token rare is currently a base of $20 and has a market price of about $27. Otherwise, between the two decks, everything is pretty easy to pick up in terms of singles. So if you just wanted to pick up certain singles, they all range from about $2 to $3 when they become foil to full art. And if they are not and just are basic cards, they're probably cheaper at this point. Something else to cover before today's episode is a buyout that we saw for Lyrical Monasterio. So, one of the new Lyrical Monasterio ride line that we're anticipating for Divine Set 7, Overdrive, got confirmed to use orders, and apparently has its own variant of Shadow Army tokens that look like butterflies. They're grade 1s that have 15k base attack, so apparently there was a buyout to some degree on the Shadow Army tokens, which doesn't make sense because, well, while they may have the same stats, the Shadow Army tokens are limited to Brandgate, so I don't think they can be used with Lyrical Monasterio at all, and not with Overdrive, but we'll see. But something else that did get a buyout is Want to Behold That Profile Orpha, which is one of the generics from Divine Set 2, where if you drop a card from your hand, you can drop an order from your deck and then play it from your drop zone. So this card got a buyout thanks to the fact that Overdrive can use orders, and now it's $11.50 to pick up the double rare. The market price has increased too. It's now over $10. The frame rare and the silver rare, on the other hand, the market prices on those are still underneath $5, but their base prices range from $24 to $30. And the frame rare is currently the one with the higher base listing, which I guess for Lyrical Monasterio that kind of makes sense, but I still think the silver rare is preferable. That's obviously opinionated. Now on to today's episode. So, the reveals today were for Basagra and for Sephila. who is the reincarnation or the revival of Griphogila. First thing we're going to talk about is the return of DressBoost with Trick Moon to start off with. And this return has caused a buyout. We're looking at single-digit listings across the board for Trick Moon, who has 2 reprints. It originally came out in set 4, got reprinted in set 9, and with the triple drive booster, but all 3 listings are now $12.50 base, and again, single-digit listings. Market prices, on the other hand, for these cards are still less than $5 for each individual printing. So while we do see a buyout on this card, we're not seeing any mass amounts of big sales yet. The SP, on the other hand, this one has a market price of $20 and 4 listings starting from $51. So we haven't seen a massive buyout on this one either. It's just that the price is really high. And then the other card, of course, is Firelord from set 12. This one has a single $25 listing on the triple rare right now, starting from $16 on the market price. The double frame rare is currently at $30 and a market price of over $17 there. 3 listings. No secret rares on the market right now. That one is currently at a market price of $137-ish. And as for when this last sold, that was back in December. At the end of December was its highest sale of $200, and sales in December before that were all around $150 or lower. So DressBoost does make its return with the new Basaga, which also saw movement on, like, the things to talk about when it comes to the new Basaga include a new array of arms. So it seems like that will be a replacement for the current arms that are in existence. We'll have to see once we get the actual reveals of the new arms and how they work. But given that we're still using sealed blazes, there is possibility to use the original support cards in addition to the dress boosts. But Basaga also gets a restanding rear guard, which I think it limits itself to its skill. So it's not like Basaga would allow for anything to restand in that situation, from what I've seen. With Griphogila, and as it's now called Sephila, though, the Dragontree marker does make a return. In Divine Set 7, it looks like we'll get a new printing of the Dragontree marker, utilizing a more lush Greenland sort of Dragontree outlook rather than the decrepit Calamity one that you see in front of you. So no rush to pick up Dragontree markers, but it looks like you should be able to use the original ones as well if you can't pick up enough of the new ones, as the effect of the Dragontree marker is still the same. It's still the same name, and it still makes use of Dragontree for the new Sephila. The Dragontree Wretches do make a comeback as well. Today's episode featured Dragon Empire, so Draco Bactyl and even Ragoon Kimmered were played in the deck. And when it comes to pricing on these ones and how they've been selling, there are still plenty on the market, so no real risk of a buyout. Especially after we saw the buyout of Kimrud thanks to Gandiva earlier. The FR of Kimrud is back on the market in troves. 32 listings for over $2, but a market price of around $350, so it's dropped off quite a lot. The double frame rare of Lloyd Asgard, which is the Dragontree Retro Brandgate that came from set 9, $5. The double FR, $5. So easy to pick up right now. Soldasak, which is the double frame rare for Cater Sanctuary, $30. That one is the one from set 9 as well. And other stuff includes Bist Optress, which was one of the biggest ones for Stoicheia. The double FR on this one is 8 listings from $23. No sales on Demon Shreeder's FFR at $11 with 15 listings. Draco Bactyl has been moving. It has 7 listings from $12 onward and a market price of almost $10. As for the triple rares, Draco Boctil's around 2, Soldasock is closer to 3, and Lloyd is not even $1 right now for its base listing. Something else from today's anime reveal, it looks like Sephirogila will be treated as Griphogila by name as well because of Corrosive Smoke Signal. This card was featured in today's episode and was able to utilize the 20k shield factor, which requires your Vanguard to be Griphogila. And despite the fact that the name has been changed to Sephirogila, the very fact that the 20k shield was usable means that it must be using Griphogila's name as well. Regardless, this card can only be played if you have a Hydrogoom Vanguard, which the Sephirogila ride line will be Hydrogoom as well. So you can use this before you get to Sephirogila too. The frame rare did see a bit of a buyout on how many listings are available. Seems that we had 4 sales yesterday in the dollar range, and right now the card is a base of $5 overall across the board when you consider shipping, and this is for the frame rare. If you want to pick up the regular rare, this is a set 11 card, and there are lots of listings on that one. Also, don't rule out Griphogila Vortex. This can be used with Sephirogila, given that it doesn't require Griphogila specifically for anything. The only thing that this requires in comparison to the Griphogila strategy is that Sephirogila does not use the Calamity strategy. It does not use the 3-turn approach to get to the Overtrigger as compared to Griphogila, and instead uses a different strategy overall, which is just producing Dragontree markers and building up energy while also providing different sorts of skills. But the fact that both strategies utilize Dragontree markers makes Griphogila Vortex a potential playable candidate for the deck. While I don't anticipate there's going to be a whole lot of hype for this ride line, I mean, Griphogila himself did not get an enormous amount of hype or meta playability, it could still be a random rogue deck and fun deck to consider on the side. Right now, Griphogila Vortex is $2 with 15 listings on the market, which has been rising in market price from $1 to over $2. And in terms of availability, there are plenty of $2 copies on the market that range to $3, but then $3, there's still a good amount of copies. So Vortex is not that difficult to pick up either. If you want to just try to build the deck for fun, just like with the original Griphogila, the new Sephirogila is completely nationless, so you can play with any nation that you want. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.